icon that was there, right? Back up that tab in there.
So yeah, so when you open your computer back up, you're going to have those pin tabs there already. So maybe it's something that you always want available every time you come up, instead of having to open up every program individually or every tab individually and search for those. You can have them pinned already, which is a time saver, especially if you always have so many things open, which I am.
That's the pinning. Oh, to unpin it. I can show you how to unpin it. You're just going to right click again and go down to unpin, and it opens back up. More room at the top.
Again, these are just a few things that kind of we've gone through, just small things that kind of help throughout our day. Yeah. They have, from when I've shut down and opened my computer back up, they have come back up pinned already. Now, the only time it didn't is we kind of had a computer change out, so I had to go in and read, which you can see is really easy to do again. But it saves a lot of time, and it seems like such a simple task and easy to do. It saves a tremendous amount of time.
One area that we're going to talk about is making folders for your, what are they called, shortcuts. So you know how you can make a shortcut and then you have all these little shortcuts and a drop down over here for the rest of your shortcuts that you want to.
I have a million in that like bookmark folder, and having to search through those all the time, because I don't always clean out that bookmark folder. But this is the way that we can put those, prioritize the ones that we go to all the time and have those shortcuts available.
So this is the actual page, and I have a startup grades book people and module one that I made personally. So if I wanted to, when I first get on during the day, I go to my startup and I right click and I click on open all bookmarks, and everything in that folder will open up for me because those are all the things that I need when I first get started.
So she's got her email. This is the user dashboard for our LMS is Canvas, our portal for our school, Google Sheets that for the.
I use it for logging my contacts.
Gotcha.
Instead of having to go in and do each individual, I do a mass upload. I'll log them all, and then.
I don't have a startup folder. I have folders for other things.
Yeah, I don't either.
I teach
No.
Just log on to remember that, and then my Google Voice. So if I were to start this one, and I just click on open all bookmarks, and they all open.
And then if you wanted to, you could pin all those. I mean, It's just different shortcuts. So to make it,
again, right click on the toolbar.
go down to get our directions correct. Add folder. Here's your add.
There it is, add folder. And then you would just name your folder whatever you want to name it. Wait. You would name whatever you want to name it, and you could even put it under other folders if you wanted to. Something
So, our school, we shortcutted FLDVIPN because we keep coming back. We keep calling it flipping dipping. So if you put something on there, text. I feel that. All right. So the folder's created and it's empty.
Now what you're going to do is when you go to add a bookmark, you can add it to that folder. So let's bookmark the page. And here, put it on the bookmark bar, or I can put it in any of my folders.
If you already have a bookmark added, you can simply just drag it and put it right into the folder and it'll pop up on there. I know that for me, I've got several folders that go into our program that we use for all of my courses, and there's different pages that I'm always visiting. Like I'm always visiting the gradebook page of every single course. So instead of having something for everyone, I have a folder for gradebook, and under there I have the links for all the courses gradebooks. And then I have a page for people. Exactly like that. So it's a lot easier to get to those.
If you already have things bookmarked, you can put one of these folders up here and grab it.
Now when she clicks, it's there.
and then you like send those where just putting the trade of first grade.
Right. So
Okay.
here's my course. If I'm not logged into my
Our network.
intranet right now,
Okay.
so this didn't come up directly to my course. If I had gone in and logged into my intranet, and this would have went directly to our course.
And all she would have to do here is actually sign into our intranet and then
Everything.
it would populate. But all those are all live. All those links go right to those places that you've marked.
So like if I were to, and the other thing that I noticed that if I'm not logged into the intranet and I log into our one single logon site, and then I click back on that tab, it'll actually log me into that.
You guys are using like
We are not in FLDS at all.
okay.
With Volusia County Schools, yes. We're on our own network. But this is just something with the browser that you can do. Setting the, yes. Any questions on those two parts? And again, there are really easy things that you can do that just make life easier instead of having to open and close so many things. They're all right there instead of having such a huge screen of stuff.
That we thought we would talk about was our ambassador visits and team effort, because we are Volusia County employees. We do go out to our schools and we do visit our students. So this is just the way that each team, well, the math department team, I should say, has figured out to coordinate doing that. So many schools, and we don't want to have to go to every school.
And when we say ambassador visits, what happens is we come up with a list based on our system of students that maybe need, maybe they are behind, maybe they haven't logged in. So these are our target students that are not on pace that we really want to make sure that we make some contact with to get them going. So we coordinate with the schools when we're going to be visiting to find out when we can come in so that we can meet them one-on-one. And we start with
actually, the first one we start with is the student name list, and we all put our students in there by our names.
school.
Then we all get together, and we have put in, like, Bianco had 4 students at Atlantic High School. And so Miss Bianco had 4 and Miss Bowen had 5. So Miss Bowen would say, oh, I'm going to go to that school. And I'll take care of them all because I have the most.
So we go through this list of how many students do you have that we need to target at that school, who has the most students, and then we kind of decide who's going to go and visit that school for all of our students to represent all of us in that department, because we can all tutor, we can all make that contact, but then not every one of us is going to every school all the time, but we are making the contact. And we work a lot with the counselors that are there and the administrators to make sure that we can go in and visit and pick those students when it's convenient, because they do, a lot of these courses are there, have the end of course exams, so we have to make sure that we're meeting with them. But we do a lot of PLC together. We work a lot together to get this list to come up and to work with our students.
And once we've gone, this is a live sheet. Obviously, you can work on it while you're at the school. We've taken off the names. But when somebody went to whatever, Deltona, that one hadn't gone to yet.
Yeah, so this is listed by student, by course, and we know who the teacher is, we know what school it is. So when I go to visit Spruce Creek High School, I go to visit a high school, I know exactly who I'm going to see. We've sent passes for those students, and the teacher of record has written notes as to this is why they need to be seen, this is what I would like you to address with them if you can. And then what I do is I see the student, and then I make my notes here, saying, okay, I saw the student, or the student didn't show up, or this is the progress we made, or we focused on, okay, we need to be consistent, we need to log in, we need to get some work done, let's set a plan for your success. So there are notes for both the teacher and the ambassador that goes to see the students, and we can share that.
Yeah, at a quick glance, I can see that every highlighted student is one that actually got seen face to face. The crossed off students no longer needed seeing. So when you go to the school, they started, and the teacher that was at the school was like, oh, I don't have to see that kid anymore, because they were done.
Is there anyone that's not familiar with Google Sheets? Okay, so and this is something, it's in Google Chrome, And if you are in, I guess your mailbox, I'll probably go there. So if you go to the mailbox, see these little, so if you click there, she's going to bring up her Google Drive. And you can, we've actually shared them with each other. Sorry for blocking the screen. You can create your own sheet. It's just like an Excel spreadsheet. And you can share them. Oh, that's your personal. Brought up her personal email so students' names wouldn't come up.
I go this way and I click on, is there docs?
Yeah, docs.
Docs is right here.
Yeah, I click on docs. More clicks, but it gets me there. And sheets, or I just open my, that's why I pin it. Or that's why I have it in a folder. But I click on my sheets, and then normally you would have, like, I have Untitled One and my I don't, not my personal email. My school email will tell me all the things I've ever opened. So
Life is not as exciting.
So that's how we got to get to the docs.
And we share with each other. You can share the sheet, and it asks on there for whether or not you want to share. And we, at that point, I would go to my shared docs, and it comes up, and it's live all the time. We can make changes, we can sort, we can highlight. Correct. There are other Gmail addresses. Yes. And I think we actually sort a few times on the presentation.
Press present.
We're still in it.
It's cool.
All
right.
So yeah, so that's the actual live sheet that we work off, and we have another tab kind of in the background where we sort it by school or by teacher, just different things to help us. And we know we also have a sheet that says, okay, so and so is going to this school at this time. They'll be in this classroom, because not only do we send passes, but we notify the students, hey, Mrs. Larson is going to be at your school in this classroom on this day. You need to go see her so that we can help you make a plan for success in your class. So there's the plan.
We have conference sheets that we make the students sign, and it basically tells them what we expect of them. They already know. So this is our face-to-face conference form. So this, I have record if my student didn't work that I talked to the student. And this is when it was talked to, this student, the student has signed, and I personally make notes at the bottom for the teacher of record. So,
and it's saying, you know, I must log into my course and demonstrate adequate progress as determined by the pacing guide in my course. I must demonstrate academic success in the course as determined by the grades of such and such. So these are things that we are agreeing to, and I have another form of documentation saying, I met with you face to face, and we've talked about making progress, and I have this in my arsenal. I probably should say arsenal, but I have it in my backpack.
And here's an example of Ms. Bianco visiting one of our schools. My son. Yes, because you know you have to have parent permission for students. I'll take a picture of my son.
Because we have learning labs that are actually based in some of our schools, so we also visit those learning labs, which is where some of our students are.
So now let's go to the WizIO, the Chrome extension. And
WizIO is a Chrome extension, and she's going to show us how to get to that extension and install it and create what we're going to be talking about. We've got some handouts.
I really didn't expect so many people. So I only have about 15. So if you don't get one and you want one, you can email and I'll
But with it is WIZY.io. It's a Chrome extension that allows you to create email templates, because how many of us will write the same email over and over and over again? I get tired of copying and pasting or finding the email that I sent and then trying to resend it to somebody else. So it gives me a way to create a template that I can just come up with, and I can create mail merges with this. I can import we'll talk about that, import a spreadsheet that has their name, their other fields like their email address, their parent email address, and different information, so it will fit into different places in my saved template. Not with text yet. I think you can get the email.
choice. Once you send them a text, you can get an email address that uses their Google Voice number. And they're in their Google Voice. So when you text them, or when they text you back, is it when they text you back? I'll text you back.
Actually, and you can actually email us too, and we can give you more detailed information, but it creates an email address for that text, and you can actually add that and have a list of your students and be able to send a massive text using that. Yes. I use it for my Gmail. Yes.
Okay.
Now I have a different I use I can talk to you about that. But this is the Chrome extension. So this is for
and then, so we're going to talk about creating templates, doing a mail merge. So
remember to have like one email that you want to send to lots of students and their parents. Maybe it's a progress email, maybe it's a welcome to the course, and you always send that same little welcome email. So you can send it to a bunch of students at one time. Right, and you can track the emails and the replies and follow up.
okay. How to download the WYSI extension? I gave you. No, we have all the PowerPoint here, but I'm going to actually walk you through it really quickly. IO extension. So first, wait, the right one? I can't see.
Said remove.
Did it say? Yes. Okay. So. Right. All right. So the way that you are going to do this is you're going to. All right. So you're going to click on the little hamburger, these three little dots over here, and go down to more tools, over to extensions, and click on them.
That just gives you all the list of those extensions.
You're going to go down and click on get more extensions. If you have a lot of extensions, I use extensions, but you're going to get more extensions and type in WYSI.io.
Found this so helpful.
And that will come up. And I'm going to add to Chrome. Add the extension.
Can I interrupt and say that the part I like about WYSI.io is that it's a little bit of a spying tool, and I know when my parents are online because it shows you when they read your email.
Yes. Something I'm going to show you. It gives you, like, if you're clicked on them, it gives you like a box to the side, and you can see the history of how many times have I emailed, how many times have they replied, you know, what's the percentage of time that they actually open it or click on it. So it does a lot of good tracking.
All right. I have the extension in my Gmail. I've actually activated
And
it.
she's got extra buttons now because of that with item. Got some extra buttons there on the extra buttons. You probably have to refresh your Gmail.
You just put, I didn't even refresh my Gmail, but you just click on add, and then you add the extension. And I clicked back on my Gmail, and it was here. And then when I'm in here, so that's the end of adding it. You're done adding it. It's there. So now we're going to, I'm going to show you how to start a template. That's the next handout. How to create a template.
Anybody want?
If they have a
Okay, so to create a template. Okay, good. All right, so to create a template, I'm going to click on compose. And now that I'm composing a message, I have this WYSI.io templates down here. Option. And I click on that. It says create template at the very bottom. And am I going too fast? I am in Gmail. The Gmail. I think she has a question about, did you already download it? That was good? Yes. Okay, so this is the template you're going to create. So you're just going to put in a subject and then some writing, right? That's great. Contact me. And this person, right? All right, so after you've written whatever you're going to write, and this can include, for mail merges, this can include the brackets with whatever you're gonna have at the top of, and she'll show you how to do that. But this is just a quick template, and I'm gonna click on Save Templates. It comes up here, and I have to name it.
And we're not emailing somebody, we're just setting up the template of what I could possibly, like, we created templates for, you have not accessed your course yet, you haven't opened your course and worked in at least 5 days, or maybe your progress is not good, or maybe you're struggling with the course. So different templates, whatever you feel like you need to send out. So she's just putting it in a category, and it'll say those categories.
So I have behind pace, and then I picked up a category that says progress. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna pick the other one. We can also share it.
So if you have in here, if I want to share it with my team, so we have a group of team templates and we have our own personal templates. So here you can click that button and you can share that template with your other team members.
I'm not gonna share it. And then I'm going to save it. I am selfish. Right here, yeah, it's this is our team ones. We have a whole bunch of team ones right here.
And you add to your team, and again, using their Gmail address.
Yep. And then that's it for adding a template. Now, the next one that we were going to talk about was adding a picture, which I've never done. You've done.
Copy and paste that picture into, like, say in my template, I want our logo, or I want, like in the one I showed you before, it was a little picture of a smiley face with a help sign. You know, here's where I want to go for tutoring. If I want to add some kind of picture, it's a little bit different. So
how I would use it, right? So I would just click on the WYSIWYG here and pick one of my templates.
And what she composed an email. So when you're in your Gmail, if you want to use the template, you go just to compose a regular email, and you'll see a box that comes down here at the bottom of that compose, and it says WYSIWYG template. So I want to use one of those, so I click on it, and then I can pick whichever template I would like to use for this email. So she's going to load, and now she's got the template done. The template is there, and I can fill in other things if I want to. Maybe if I'm not sending it to a bunch of people or just sending to one, now I can make adjustments, but I don't have to retype the whole email. It's already there, created in my template.
I'm not.
Yeah, if you go to the presentation. That's just for how to add a picture.
Walk through that I did.
Okay,
Creating a template.
and what we did was just creating a template. I'm not a big fan of the PowerPoint.
Okay, how to add a photo.
Okay, so here's the first one, and this is following along with the handout there. So the first thing you want to do, and we've got these directions directly from them. If you've got a photo that's either stored in your Google Plus account or it's in your Google Photos, you can just click on that and get the link for that photo. That's the first thing you want to do. You can't just copy and paste the picture into that template. So we're basically, what we're trying to do is get the link for that picture. So once you've gotten the link to that picture, you're going to copy the link. All that slide down. Then you're going to go to the actual photo, bring it full screen. I think then we, on the next page, what we write. You're going to right click and you're going to copy that image address. So we're actually getting to that picture and we're getting the image address. Now, when you're actually in your template, you go to insert the image, and that's where you're going to put the actual link that you just got from your picture. And then you're going to click OK. Because if you don't do it that way, it's just going to show you where the image is stored. Well, you're not going to. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you click OK. And now your picture is actually in the template. So you can't just copy and paste. You have to go and get the address from the image itself that you've got stored in your photos. And then you've got to insert that link, that URL in your template for it to be able to show up. Otherwise, it's going to be a little empty box that says there should be an image here, but you won't see it. It's great. All right. So, creating a mail merge. And I use this, again, when I'm sending the same email to a lot of people. And I do this a lot when I'm sending out progress. Like I said, if I'm sending out, you haven't started your course. Maybe I've got at least 10 students or even more, of course, that haven't started within a certain period. So I want to send that email to both the parent and the student. So to create an email merge, I'm not as good at that. So the first part is you are going to, in your Gmail, what you do, you're going to go to that, click on new mail merge. And that's actually in the email. Right. In your email, your Gmail, you've got this mail merge button, and that's what we clicked on first. So if I click on this mail merge button, gives it a second to load. And then you'll see that option where you can create a new mail merge. And I might actually go through your email. Is that okay? That's okay. Go into that link. It's gonna load. And loading. Spinning circle.
Fun.
Okay. So it's actually working on bringing up now. When I click on that button, not only can I create a mail merge, but it also will give me a list of any mail merges that I've already sent, just to kind of let you know what's going to come up on the screen eventually. Well, that's just worth it. Although this one, gotcha. All right, so we clicked on. Where's the button? Thank you for directing me where to look. So new mail merge. Then that next thing we're going to do is maybe I've got a spreadsheet that has got all the email addresses and the student names and information. Maybe it's the name of their course. Personally, what I have done is I've taken a spreadsheet and I can either import it into my Google Sheet so that I have a list, names, courses, teacher, counselor, date that they were enrolled in the course, different pieces of information that I need. Because now I can import that sheet here so that it will feed into that mail merge all the information that I need. So I can either import it from a Google Sheet or I can upload it from my computer. So I don't have Google Sheets, I can still import it right here using Upload CSV. So two different options. So that's where I'm getting my list of who I'm going to be sending. After that, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up a screen that says verify recipients. It's going to bring up your list so that you can see who you've got here. If you see anything, like I have a sample of 3 here. I have 3 email addresses. If something had shown up in red or was blank, maybe I don't have an email address for the student, it's going to show up in red. So I can scan through this to see if there's anything that I need to correct or take out or add in before I okay this. So I'm verifying that spreadsheet at that time. Okay, so that's just verifying my recipients. So we have started the mail merge, imported our information, and verified the recipient list. Okay, now you can actually start composing the email. So once you've verified that list, you'll have this come up that says, I want to compose an email. Well, what I want to do is I'm going to first use a template that I have created. So I would probably click on my WYSIWYG templates, and I can choose which one that I want to use. Then once I've done that, I can add fields. So add fields button. And this is bringing up the fields from my imported spreadsheets. So I can figure out areas where, okay, dear, instead of blank, I can put their student first name or student and parent. I can add fields. I've got first name, last name, email. I've got their course name. You were enrolled in blank course on blank date. So this is information I'm getting from that important spreadsheet. So it's specific to them, but it still is saving me time from having to type that up every time. All right, so here, so I can use a template. I can add the field. And then if I want to make any other adjustments as I'm going through, I can do that here. I can click, there are two options here. I'm sorry, this isn't any bigger. I can either send it now, or I can choose to send it later. So I can schedule this to go out at a later time, or I can name a specific date and time that I want that email to go out. Maybe I want to send it out right before I sign off, so I don't have to answer until tomorrow. But you can schedule that at a certain time. Okay? You didn't hear that. Totally didn't hear that at all. But I love that I can schedule that. And then it's kind of shadowed by this box here. There's a box here that you have to click saying, I understand what I'm doing. And I can send up to 1,500 emails a day. And this is free. So I know with a lot of different mail merges, I know when I do Outlook, I'm limited to, it's a lot smaller a number. And it fills up my Outlook email box really quickly. Where the reason I think that I use Gmail so much is I don't have images and a lot of things blocked that come into my email, and it's much larger capacity, and I can do so many other different things. But this is free. I can send. It says I have 1,500 emails left for this day. So that's great for me. I love that I have so many that I can send. And then I can send now or send later. I can schedule it. But again, I was able to use a template here. I could add fields that I wanted if I want to, and scheduling. So then what happens? Now what's going to happen on that mail merge screen that I brought up, where it lists all the mail merges that you sent, it's going to show you, and I just highlighted the mail merge that you just sent, and it's going to have different things listed there. So the green box here means completed. It'll either say completed or pending. Okay, it's really very easy to follow. It's great. And it's going to tell me when I send it, how many emails I sent, the percentage of people that clicked on it, percentage that opened it, percentage that replied. So there's all this information, and this is just right after I sent it. And I can always go to this at any time, because when I click on mail merge, it's always going to bring up a record of all the mail merges that I've sent, and I can always go back in, and I can see that list, and I can press on these three little, the hamburgers, not quite a hamburger, 3 dots. And I can archive that mail merge. I can send a follow-up, which means if I want to send a follow-up, maybe I want to see who didn't open it, who didn't respond. So I can send a follow-up to those. No, any mail. This is just coming from Gmail. But yes, so because I send all kinds of, we send to Outlook, we send to Yahoo, they've got everything.
It tells you where they opened it. Like if they opened it in Orlando, it'll say Orlando.
You can also export those results. But I love the fact that, hey, if I want to send follow-up, look at the options. I can keep the same recipients and send them all follow-up. I can select, let me filter the recipients by, who clicked on it, who didn't reply, those kind of things. So I can send it again, or send, hey, I noticed that you didn't get, I want to make sure that you've gotten this, please respond. So great follow-up tool. Okay. Love it. Sorry. I really started to love it because we've also got new reports that our system has been able to generate thanks to one of our wonderful people that has made this a lot easier for us. All right, and then, again, this is some of those filters. All who did not open email, all who opened, all who clicked the link, all who replied. So different filters, maybe who I want to send my replies to. And then this is just kind of a, it tells me, like on this one, I sent it to 3 teachers. Guess what? They all replied to me. I love my department. But it's just saying, like, how many replied. Can't even read that.
2 people.
Gotcha. Hey, Marcia. Well, at least I saw different it. I brought something else up. And it even lists the email addresses and tells me who actually did. And I can always go into open that mail merge and I can see who did and who didn't. And I can click on that person and get actually a history of, because it creates like an address card kind of thing for each email address. And it gives me history. How many times, what percentage of the time do they reply? What percentage of the time do they actually click and open my email? Those kind of things. So it's really a great tracking device. Oh, yeah. It's not good tracking. Okay. Okay, and this is just some more information on the tracking replies. And it was just another, this was that address. I wonder if I can see that picture. So this was a particular person, and this was just, I sent a emails response rate. Right, I've received one email from them, and I can actually also, it'll list the recent conversations, anything that we have emailed back and forth, and I can hover over it and it'll actually bring that up so I can see it, which is great. Yes.
So,
Yes, we use, yes.
Your email that you're using for this, the email that's in that LMS.
No, the Gmail is a totally separate thing.
Okay,
This is
you
a
still have
separate
an email system in the LMS.
We have, there's a messaging system in the course. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this is your actual email, like when you created your email for work email.
This is the main thing, yes.
And all of my Canvas messages get sent to my email address so I can track and it tells me.
Yes. Got that link up and reply to actually forward any messages that they send also come to our
So I
email.
can click on the student and it'll tell me what they've said also. Yeah, with the idea, you don't have to only track through the mail merge because I can track. I've never used the mail merge and I have kids that I can click on it and it'll tell me how when they sent messages.
You can also use the mail merge, but the tracking, I love the WYSIO tracking. It's really nice. And I love that it'll bring up specific information.
Like I'll be sitting there working, I'll get a pop-up. This email was opened on this date at this time in this place, and you know, it might even say the person who opened it, this email recipient opened it. So,
and like I said, just something that we've discovered that we have found very helpful, that helps us with being more efficient and getting our job done in less time, because I know it takes forever sometimes to do these communications. At least I know it always has for me, because I feel like I need to touch these kids all the time. I need to make contact, and this is something that has made it a little easier for us.
yes.
Okay. Right. She was one of our teachers that actually is a liaison and now works with administration for free. Yeah.
Not a private one, because we have not paid for a private subscription.
Mhm.
I could follow mine on.
But I messed the link up, so not really. Sorry, Charlie.
And if we can't get it up right this second, we'll definitely make sure we get that info. I haven't used it as much yet. Look, there's mine. Oh, yes. And if you want to make sure that you put the email in the signage, excellent. If you want to put aside what it is, because I want to make sure that we everything and I get as much information as I can. And if you need it now, I will. Definitely.
Yes. So I can give you we can put the recording.
Okay. For whatever reason, it looks like
Yeah, that's not mine. Doesn't it give you in your Gmail? Oh, you would have to go to our school, and we don't want that. So we would probably have to stop the recording to pull up your. I was supposed to create that a long time ago. I know it's there.
You have one. I tagged you. Yeah. No problem.
I know it comes up when.
Oh, do you want to
I
text?
want to dim my screen.
Why? I'm confused. Unplug your cord. If you need to text me, and I can text you back, and you can grab the address.
Are you gonna upload my materials? I definitely do that, yeah. Okay.
Gonna end the live stream. Woo!